Up next on Good Morning El Paso, get ready to pay more in stormwater fees. El Paso Water Utilities needs money to protect the city when those flash floods hit. Now it can affect your bill.
Even though the UTEP miners could become bowl eligible, fans aren't just showing up to the games. The school's now offering a special 3-for-1 deal to get fans in the stands. Is that enough to make you want to go?
And the first winter storm of the season is causing travel nightmares for millions. How it's affecting flights out of El Paso International Airport already this morning.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez, and everyone else tuning in. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. We'd like to start off by saying thank you to all of our vets who have served and who are currently serving this Veterans Day. If you're heading out today to take advantage of all the deals and discounts offered around town, and there are a lot.
Lots of free breakfasts out there.
Yeah, I want to know how the weather is shaping up this morning, especially if you're heading out this morning.
It's chilly, but not as windy as yesterday, thankfully. At least that's what we found on the way in this morning, Crystal.
Yeah, absolutely. Temperatures are warmer than yesterday. We don't have as high of winds, and we don't forecast as high of winds to hit later today either. It should actually be a very good Veterans Day. Let's look at our temperatures. 56 outside currently in El Paso. This is the official report over at the El Paso International Airport. Your winds just 9 miles per hour. Las Cruces 51 degrees, and we are looking mostly clear. Winds at 10 miles per hour outside. Now, we did mention just a few minutes ago there has been an update. Well, today's not looking too bad. There's a big cold front heading our way that will be affecting temperatures in the days to come. And our freeze warning has been updated. Check this out. Now extending through Culberson County into parts of Hudspeth, southern Otero County, and even that far east edge of El Paso County and some of the more open desert area. We are looking at the possibility to drop down to freezing temperatures. We'll talk more about how low the forecast temperatures are the next couple mornings coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Crystal.
It's day 2 of the first major winter storm affecting the nation this Veterans Day. So what does that mean for the millions of commuters and students being affected?
Here's Timon Bradley with more.
A monster winter storm is pushing cold air and heavy snow across the Midwest. Roads are treacherous.
I've been sitting here for about 2 hours, and I got, 15 trucks behind me.
In Duluth, Minnesota, icy conditions caused this awful 16-vehicle pileup.
Just kind of a landslide of cars. Everything slid down the hill.
An army of tow trucks went to work while commuters tried to help each other out.
We're all going to shovel each other out, get each other out of here.
In this mess, AAA is encouraging drivers to slow down and keep their car about 8 seconds between the driver in front of them.
If you don't rush it, you should be just fine.
This Arctic air swept into the lower 48 from a powerful storm that hit Alaska over the weekend. Time-lapse video shows how quickly the snow barreled in. In South Dakota, they're still digging out. The snow may be a headache, but some people are happy it came early this year.
I thought it was really cool because I haven't seen snow in a really long time.
Although the snow is expected to end today, the cold air is here to stay. Some places will see temperatures as much as 40 degrees below average. Timon Bradley, ABC News, Washington.
Oh, it makes me cold just looking at it. Well, with the winter weather making a mess across the nation, we have an ABC7 travel alert to pass along. Over at El Paso International Airport, we know American Airlines Flight 5379 to Dallas has been canceled. That's the flight that left just at 6 o'clock this morning. Also, American Airlines Flight 5384 from Dallas to El Paso has also been canceled. Not clear if that has to do with the weather, but before heading out, just make sure that you check the travel center at KVIA.com.
And of course, remember, today is Veterans Day, and there are a few closures to go over. All federal offices are closed. El Paso County government offices will be closed, but city government offices will be open. Most banks and credit unions are closed, but you should check with your financial institution to make sure. And all U.S. postal offices will be closed. There will not be any home delivery except for express mail. If you'd like a full list of those closures, check out KVIA.com. And we'd also like to add that schools in the El Paso, Isleta District, Gadsden, and Clint are all closed today in remembrance of Veterans Day as well. And we also like for you to send us your Veterans Day photos. Head on over to our Facebook page and post your photos under our comment section or your thanks. If you have any photos of family or friends who have served, just send them our way. We'll share some later in the show and then throughout the day. We're already receiving some, and it's nice to look at them. Well, if you pay a water bill, and most of us do, right? Listen up. Stormwater fee rates are likely going up for all customers. This is so El Paso water utilities can begin new projects that protect the city from flooding. The Water Utility Public Service Board was given two options for the increase, either a rate increase of 8% every year or an increase of 17% every other year. For a typical residential customer, the 8% rate alternative increase would actually increase fees by 24 cents a month or about $2.88 a year. Now, this is video from the flooding earlier this year. El Paso Water Utilities took over the stormwater system in 2008. A lot of progress has been made, including dams, drains, and ponds, but the utility says it still has a lot of work to do and it needs more money. EPWU CEO tells us why he believes ratepayers disapprove of the increase.
They look at the increases, your health care increases, your tax increases, the property tax, everything is cumulative. And believe me, we feel that. The same expenses that they incur, the utility incurs. We have pumping costs to pump the stormwater out, the electric rates go up, the natural gas rates go up, the cost of labor goes up, our cost of health care goes up. So we're all faced with the same set of pressures.
And last night's budget workshop was the first of many planned. The PSB has until January now to approve next year's fiscal budget.
And let's get to news developing now out of South Korea. The South Korean captain of a ferry that sank, killing nearly 300 people, has been found not guilty of murder. The captain was instead sentenced to 36 years in jail. The verdict was met with outrage by the families of the victims. They're asking for an appeal now and calling for the death penalty for not only the captain, but the crew members also. 13 crew members were also sentenced up to 20 years in jail. Although the captain was not guilty of murder, he was found guilty of violating seaman's law and abandonment causing death and injury. Yet another car crash takes the life of a person, this time a 36-year-old woman. This happened yesterday morning near the intersection of Artcraft and Santiago in far west El Paso. Authorities say driver Diane Valdez slammed her car into a utility pole. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. No word on what caused her to lose control. Police say she was not wearing a seatbelt. And as for the driver who crashed into a guardrail this past weekend, he remains in critical condition this morning. Now, that accident happened early Sunday morning on US 54 and Montana. Authorities say 34-year-old Jorge Alvarez was speeding on US 54 when he tried to pass another vehicle. He then lost control and slammed his Camaro into the guardrail. Still no word on whether alcohol was a factor.
Police in Alamogordo have confirmed with ABC7 two teens were found dead earlier this month. They were found inside a vehicle with gunshot wounds. It happened on the night of November 2nd on the 1000 block of Hendricks. Police identified the teens as 19-year-olds Jonathan Garnand and Devon Blake. Both were flown to UMC in El Paso where they later died. No word on if any arrests have been made at this point. And after almost 2 decades on the run, a man wanted for the brutal beating and rape of a woman is now in custody. Jorge Ramos, seen here, was arrested last week at the Santa Teresa port of entry. He's been wanted since 1997 after authorities say he and another man raped and beat a woman behind her home in Anthony. The accomplice was sentenced the following year to 12 years in prison. A trial date for Ramos is now pending.
Keeping your personal info secure is more important than ever.
And some recent hacks have been exposing millions of people to potential fraud. It's scary stuff.
It really is. And Good Morning El Paso's Andrew J. Polk is live with some information you can use this morning. Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. We've seen 2 big data breaches in recent weeks. First with Home Depot, and now more troubling with the Postal Service being hacked as well. According to an official, criminals broke into a computer system and stole the personal data for 750,000 employees and retirees. Social security numbers, birthdays, addresses, and payroll employment codes. Nearly 3 million Postal Service customer info was also exposed, including names, home addresses, phone numbers, and emails. And Home Depot had a massive breach with 53 million email addresses taken after hackers accessed their system using a username and password they stole from a vendor. So with all this, what can you do? Of course, keep a close eye on your bank and credit card statements. Watch out for anything suspicious, including charges And watch your credit score as well. Home Depot is offering free identity protection services and credit monitoring to customers who were impacted. The Postal Service is helping affected employees, but doesn't believe their affected customers need to take any preventative action. And of course, watch out for suspicious emails and links coming into your inbox. And above all, the most important thing is to pay attention and follow up with your bank or credit card company if something seems wrong or out of place. Hillary and Stephanie.
All right, got to keep an eye on everything. Thanks, Andrew.
And now it's time to take a look at the TxDOT traffic cameras. Looking over on the west side at I-10 and Wrestler at 610. You can see the traffic is pretty light out there. Just be careful if you're heading out on the roads this morning.
Well, we have an update on construction plans over at Jefferson High.
Can monies left over from the stadium go to academics? We'll have an answer when we come back.
And many of you are chiming in over the altercation or straight out fight, the brawl between Mayfield and Las Cruces High. Do the players actually deserve a suspension, though?
And meteorologist Crystal Clay is standing by with your forecast. Crystal.
A cool but not too cold start to the morning today. Big changes, though, on the way. We'll track that cold front system affecting much of the U.S. after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.